back to me. Enough is enough. They just wanna hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. We won't let them hurt us. Bring us down. Bring us down. Enough is enough. You won't bring us. Enough is enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Indie Wrestling Corner with another episode of Under the Ropes. I'm your host, as always, the queen of the Indies, Tiffany. And we're getting sexy today because we had to bring in my friend, SeXXXy Eddy. What's going on?
I am doing awesome. I'm gonna tell everyone out there a quick little story. So I'm rushing to get on the podcast on time, and I had some wild fish. A friend of mine did a show a couple weeks ago, and so I haven't eaten wild fish in a long time. There are so many little bones. I'm trying to rush to eat, and I'm famished. I'm trying to eat fast enough to get on the show, and I'm trying not to choke on bones. So I was like, in case it takes me a couple extra minutes to be late, it's better than dead. So instead of an on-time dead Eddie, you have maybe a couple minutes late SeXXXy Eddy. So I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. Every morning I wake up, and when I wake up with a breath full of fresh air in my lungs, I am happy to be on this planet. So hi, everybody.
I love that. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner. You had some time. There's no bones and everything like that. So I appreciate it. Guys, if you're new here to the Under the Rope series, here I interview everything independent wrestling, whether it's wrestlers, promoters, referees, backstage. I got you covered. If you guys got questions for Eddie, please feel free. Drop them into the chat. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. If you give a quick share so we can get some more people to jump in on here. So, again, all these questions, we're going to learn. So, all right, we're going to start off with something fun. So this was an anonymous fan tweet question for you. It said, how did you get so sexy?
Oh, you know what? I try and tell people. So at the beginning when I started wrestling, I just thought you give yourself sexy and before your name. And I was like, oh, the girls are going to love me. It's going to be wonderful. It doesn't work like that. It took a couple of years, though, to get better at what I'm doing, to learn who my character is. At the beginning, we were all inspired by certain wrestlers, but as we go on, we kind of find ourselves. So I feel that once I found myself and the confidence went up, and that's when the energy went up, and there's a positive aura that you don't really see, but you feel it. So when some people give off this great energy, other people feel it, and people want to be with people that have good energy. Just like, some people have negative energy, and it's kind of like that. So as I got better and as I got more confident in what I was doing, I guess I had that energy that I let out, and people were really convinced that, oh, this guy is really into it. Either he's really cocky or he's really confident, or a mix of everything, and that's kind of brought out sexiness. So I want to tell people, it's not what you have, it's how you present yourself. And so have more confidence in yourself, and you'll see the sexiness level goes up, because there's a little bit of sexy in all of us. We just got to bring it out to have that maximum sexiness. So I think that's my answer, is just confidence. It helped me just smile more, be happier more, lift my shoulders up more when I walk. So all that brings out the sexiness in you.
I love that. Because I feel like this is just good, knowledge for anybody. There's always, I was telling SeXXXy Eddy that there's a lot of people that watch this podcast that either they're thinking about training or they're already started training, everything like that. And I guess maybe even for people that even been in the business for even a couple of years, I think it's all good information that we're passing on to next generations and everything like that. But so one of the important things I want to talk about is that, you've been in the business a long time, like, was it 26 years, is it? 25, 26?
So when I started wrestling, everything was black and white. Yeah. And so because of that, I go to bed in a coffin every night. And so just to try and I have to drink virgin blood once in a while just to keep that energy level up. But no, I mean, exactly. I don't know if you count or you don't count during the pandemic. But the more years I say, the older I sound. So,
what are you talking about? You're 21. What are you talking about?
I was wrestling in my diapers, jumping off the top rope, dropping the diapers, the diaper drop. That was my big finisher. Yeah, no, I've been around for a while, and the fun thing is you can always learn from anyone. You can learn from everyone. You can learn. I feel every wrestling evolves every 6 months. There's things that happen that adjust what the fans want to see, what they like, and you got to keep changing yourself. I mean, whether it's a little bit in your style, whether it's our facial hair, shaving different stuff, changing your gear up, you gotta kind of go with everything. And I feel for me, wrestling has evolved where to the point it was the attention span of the fans right now has changed compared to before, where holds and things like that you can do that for a little longer. But now people really they tune in and they tune out. It's a TikTok type of world. So like you have to present something that's interesting. So if people tune in, you got like 20 seconds, 15 seconds, entertain me, get my attention. And you got to kind of keep doing that throughout, just to keep people's attention. So that's, I think, one of the biggest changes for me. So staying fresh, that you got to keep doing. So yeah, I've been around for a long time, but I'm still learning, especially from the younger students who taught me things like that, or to make videos. They're like, it's not just a promo on the back of a brick wall like we used to do. Now, it's quick little exchanges and things like that people tune into, and people want to know. They love the backstage stuff. They love the ride-alongs. They love the shows where people are at their house, whether it's acting or not acting or whatever it is. Whenever there's a camera, every wrestler that I know, including myself, we become an exaggerated version of ourselves. Anyone pulls out their phone and starts recording, I amp it up all the time, whether I'm at a show or not. It's just, that's the performer side in me, the entertainer that always wants to entertain. Yeah. So I've learned to be more on social media, and whenever someone has something to shoot, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, film me. Well, let's do something. So yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like the involvement of when you started, or even like when you started watching wrestling, to like back then to like where it is now, and now we have social media, which is crazy.
Here's a great example. It's like people that have watched wrestling for a long time. When I talked about the ladder match, so the first ever ladder match, it was between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, and it's just like, oh my God, back in the day that was amazing. And look how it's evolved throughout the years, where it was like the Dudley Boys with Christian and Edge, and the Hardy Boys, and to what it is now, seeing the stuff, the moves that guys will do in AEW and Ring of Honor and anywhere in WWE, and especially on the independent level. We've taken it to new heights, more risks. Sometimes it's a little too crazy for me, and I'm always like cringe, and I'm like, please don't get hurt, kids. But again, I'm not the best example to say you should not do that, because what got me going places was piercing my artery at Tournament of Death 3, and so for me to go and tell people don't play with glass Don't play with light tubes and stuff like that. I'm like, eh, wrestling will evolve, and so some things will scare me, and some things I might not want to do. But that's like I said, the evolution of it. So whichever it goes, I always hope you youngsters, do your homework and protect yourself. That's all I gotta say. Please be kind and rewind. Nobody knows that term anymore because nobody gets VHS. Nobody gets Red's movies anymore. It's all on Prime and in demand and Netflix. So I might use some old school references that sometimes people will be like, what is he talking about?
I'll understand. I'll definitely understand because I'm in the same realm as you. So I totally get it. Like, WrestleMania 10 that you were talking about with Shawn Michaels. So like, I know all this stuff. So it is wild, even myself, just to like where it was.
Watch some of those matches back and we remember it when we were a fan. We were an ultimate fan at that age, and we're like watching it now like, wow, that wasn't that exciting as I remember.
Right.
So it's just funny how that is, but at the time that was like, whoa, but that turned into like more spots. Sometimes less storytelling, but there's a little bit of something for everyone in wrestling, and that's what's fun. Not all the matches have to be one style and have to be the same. That bores me.
Yeah.
I as a performer, I like to look at the card and see who's before me, who's after me, and are they doing similar things like me? And I will orchestrate my match and try and make it a little bit different so that people will remember me. And as I will tell everyone in every interview, we're not making wins or losses here. We're making moments, and we're making memories for the fans. So if again, every match that I do on the weekends, I can't remember who won or lost, but I'll remember something that really made me laugh. If it entertains me, if it entertains the wrestlers, the fans will love it. So and we have to have fun doing it ourselves too. So if we're having fun, I think that's another energy that we give off, that the fans will have more fun too.
Absolutely.
So it's cool.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you put it like very, very well. Zach's in the chat. What's going on, Zach? We have like over 20 people watching. Again, like I know the Periscope, you can't comment. Make sure you come over to the YouTube channel or Facebook or Twitch if you want to make some questions, or maybe you just want to hang out and like listen to this pod. So okay, so I like to ask this question, and again, like there's probably like so many or whatever. So if for a fan that's never seen you wrestle before but listening to this podcast, what is the go-to match that you would recommend for them to watch to become an instant fan?
So it's going to go way back, and actually it's a 20-year anniversary this year. It was my debut. It was my second time in the U.S., but it was my debut at the old ECW arena. So I had goosebumps when we arrived. I had chills. I felt all the ghosts of the wrestlers past, present, and future from there. And so that was for Combat Zone Wrestling, CZW, and we did a four-way, which they dubbed it the Canadian four-way because we were for Canadians. Even though some of us have different personas, I'm from a little part in a very Long Beach, California. So you got Long Beach, but there's a very Long Beach. There's only a select few people that live on there. And you don't need to ask, but people might wonder why. But again, use your imagination. Very Long Beach, SeXXXy Eddy. So this Canadian four-way was at Combat Zone Wrestling, and I believe the show was called High Stakes 2, if you want to look that up. And so it was a match between myself, XS69, who's still wrestling, and his son is wrestling now.
Wow.
And two other people that people might be familiar with. One was called El Generico at the time, who's now became, if I can let the cat out of the bag, is Sami Zayn, and Kevin Steen, who became Kevin Owens for the WWE. So it was a very special four-way because, so what got us there, I'll just do a quick history lesson. I ended up bleeding a lot at Tournament of Death. And Tournament of Death 3 for Combat Zone Wrestling. So when I healed up, they said, please come back and bring some friends, some other guys that you guys could showcase your talents together. So they saw we could do the show and it could bleed, but they're like, let's see how they can wrestle. And I mean, we had at the time, again, I was surrounded with three of the best wrestlers in Canada. So not just from Montreal and Quebec, but Canada. And I truly felt that at the time, and I still do now. I mean, look how far they've went too. So for me, that match holds a special place. It's actually in probably my top entrance also, where once the first note of my song hit, the crowd stood up. They're standing up and yelling because of as I went viral with Tournament of Death. So I'm bleeding from an artery and I'm drinking drinking the blood from my artery, but we'll probably get back to that later. This was my shot back at Combat Zone Wrestling. So the first note of my music, everyone's on their feet, standing and applauding. Before I got out of the curtain, everyone else was in the ring. I knew we had something special, and it was like, don't drop the ball. They're passing it to you. Run it all the way to the touchdown zone. And that's what we did. We made the fans love us to the point where the boss at the time, John Zandig, is on the microphone as the crowd's chanting IWS, IWS. That's our Canadian home promotion. He had to quiet them down to remind everyone that we're at Combat Zone Wrestling. We're at CZW. So, but he gave us right there. It was a promise on the microphone that he's like, anytime you guys want to come back, it's an open door policy. And so for 2 years after that, we were going back every month, bringing new wrestlers. We brought in Lufisto, Frankie the Mobster, Beef Wellington, and to the point where even IWS got to do a whole afternoon show. So we had our whole roster in the afternoon, and then the night show was a Combat Zone Wrestling show. So, which was something really special, where it's not just a couple of your guys from your promotion going down to wrestle. Mm-hmm. It's everyone you want on your show, your roster. So we got to do some great leaps and bounds for all of us, for IWS and for Canadian wrestling, I think, on the independent circuit, just to showcase our talent and to say, hey man, we're a big country, we're right next to you. We got some fun, entertaining guys too. So it was great that we had a platform to do it, that John let us do it, that Combat Zone Wrestling let us do it there. And I mean, you want to say the rest is history. A lot of guys went different ways. We'd wrestle everywhere, and it was it's a nonstop, never-ending adventure. So I'm having great adventures from this. So again, I thank that Canadian four-way. Please look it up. Sorry my answer was so long, but I just wanted to give the backstory of the importance of it and how many doors it opened for a lot of people. That specific match too.
Well,
so
it's great because actually I was talking to somebody on the phone the other day. They were like, "Oh, you definitely got to talk about the CZW days with them." So you kind of covered it, which is great. And SJ's in the chat. She said IWS is great. So love that.
Thank you. Ed.
All right, I want to talk more recently. I want to talk about the Joey Janela clusterfuck because this was a classic. All right, so every time Joey Janela is anytime he runs the spring break and stuff like that, it sells out all the time. All the time it seems like that he sells out. So the clusterfucks is always, and again, if you never seen a clusterfuck and it's it's exactly what it is. You don't know. Somebody could come out right after each other. A whole tag team can come out. It could turn into a ladder match for all you know. It could turn into fuckery pretty much. So talk to us a little bit about this last one for if anybody hasn't seen it or they did see it and
So I've got the pleasure of being in two clusterfucks. First of all, when you're in one of these, you don't know a lot of the stuff. We find out on the day. A lot of even wrestlers, some might come the day of. A lot of them are surprises. So it's just, you get guys that have passed in WWE or that will be in WWE, guys that were in WCW, guys that were in ECW. You get some of the hottest indie wrestlers that are out there now, and you get some of the old guys like me that doesn't want to wear clothes in the ring, and I'm gonna do my thing, and that's what I want to do in the clusterfuck. Plus, anything you got the name Joey Janela next to it, you know it's gonna be great. Again, he's a friend of mine. I'm glad to call him a friend. He's entertaining as fuck, and everything that he does it uniquely, which is great. That's what you need to look at your opponents and the venue and the promotion, and you could make it unique. And again, he knocks out these banger matches, and it's a lot of fun. He's got a great mind for entertainment. He knows the past in wrestling, and he knows what's hot. So he has, it's got his name on it. The clusterfuck is a special time. 5 years ago, we got to do different stuff, but this year, what made it special, I got to see some guys that I hadn't seen in years, and I made a lot of new friends. But during the time in the clusterfuck that I was there, we had a sing-along with my good friend Spider Nate Webb. So I came out with just a towel on, and then I put on underwear before I got into the ring, and then I left with no underwear, no towel. You're gonna have to see it to believe it. Yeah. And there's not a lot of people, even some of the guys from Mexico, some of the luchadors were telling me like how impressive it was to see me get eliminated over the top rope without any hands, because my hands were very occupied at the moment. Those who know, you know. Those who don't, check it out. Check it out.
It was fun. It was fun. I think, it was fun, like, me watching it. I think I had a couple of friends that were like, that don't normally watch this and trying to understand it and be trying to explain it to them, and, like, going back and, like, watching, because I couldn't stay up. So I watched it back the next day, and I was dying. And I think another one that was, like, so huge in GCW lately now is Micro Man. It's
Man, again, so cool. Like I said, they have their thumb is on the pulse, yeah. So they know what's hot, and it's like, man, take advantage of that. Like, and that's what it was. It's so fun, and they're so crazy backstage. Just everyone trying to get into their place, and cues being changed. People sometimes not showing up. There's things happened. Also, you got to remember, this is the last day of the usually of the independent shows of Mania week. So people have been wrestling, I mean, some of them the Monday before. Monday and Tuesday, there's a couple places that were running. Then Wednesday, it starts to pick up. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday are the craziest. And you got some guys that are machines, like Speedball Mike Bailey, doing like 4 or 5 shows in one day, like just bouncing from venue to venue and stuff. So it's nuts. I have to do this to him because, again, another guy that I've seen evolve throughout his beginnings, and to see where he is at now, amazing. So he's one of them too that has it, that just, it's like, that loves wrestling so much and stuff, and it's and he transmits that passion to everyone that he works with.
Yeah, definitely. So shout out to him. Let's do a fan tweet here. So this one's from Cody. He says, talk about your heel run at C4.
Well, actually, so I'm kind of starting out that. I've been at that promotion since the beginning, since day one. And it's just, I've been a good guy there for I want to say 15 years or something. So they said, let's try and do something different. And if you know some independent wrestling, if let's say from the Buffalo region, when you say the name Puff, everybody knows Puff. And he's one of the nicest, sweetest individuals. Just like me, we like to think outside the box. And before we get into the moves and stuff, we're already like, oh, what idiocy can we do and get away with this time? So we had a great run as a tag team. I got injured, and so I thought the perfect person for me to replace me was the person that I wrestled when I got injured. Um, I'd broken my ankle, so we put Pretty Ricky as a tag team with him. And then when I was healed and I came back, we kind of did a trio thing. But after that trios, we're like, eventually you gotta, some jealousy in this trio. So it was like, who are they gonna kind of cut to go? Are they gonna go back to Eddie, or are they gonna go with Pretty Ricky? So that was a good call to do a heel turn, because I think that let me just try something new in a place that's adored me for so long. But Puff is the perfect person to go heel against, because there's no one more over than Puff. He's such a good guy, and people know it. And so I was like, let's take this opportunity and go with that. So, and it was fun because I got to introduce my tag team partner from IWS, Bob the Animal Anger, into the fold, and bring him into C4. And so we're having fun doing that. And it's fun where I've been for 15 years. I've never gotten to touch gold at C4 Wrestling. I don't even think I had a title match. But as I turned heel, that's when I was like, okay, no more fun, no more games, because the funny guys don't get titles. So let's go all the way. Let's wrestle less funny. Let's no more dick jokes. No more cock spots. None of that. No more colors even. Just black and just tone it down and stuff. And it's fun. We're just starting. It's the tip of the iceberg. So again, ladies, this is just the tip. You're gonna see a whole lot more coming soon at C4 Wrestling.
I like that. So make sure you're tuning into C4. It's like one of the hottest, promotions that every wrestler that pretty much comes on this podcast talks about, that they want to work there. And it's kind of nice to see like a bunch of people like Ryan Clancy's going up there. TJ Crawford's been going up. It's wild just to see, all the people that have been going out there, and then all the people like Fresh Air, like it's that work there already. It's awesome. So definitely check it out if you haven't already. I want to talk interspecies wrestling, because I want to go back to when one of the shows that I went to. I went to a couple. So this one was in the H2O building, and you wrestled Nikki Knuckles, and I was with my best friend and my goddaughter, who's so little. So it's so funny because
I'm really sorry. I apologize.
I think what was funny is my goddaughter went up to Mickey and she goes, "You didn't watch my match, did you?" I was dying. It was really funny. So I wanted to bring that up because that was just hysterical, and I had to talk about it with you. So, but you guys had a fun match. So
we did have fun, and one thing we wanted to throw a curveball because, again, sometimes it'd been long and far between, especially with the pandemic, that I got to go back to the States. And when you're wrestling Mickey Knuckles too, one of the queens of hardcore, of deathmatch, and so maybe people expected certain things, and we said, hey, let's flip the script on them, and let's just go again, literally balls to the wall, and let's drink, let's make out, let's do some silly stuff, and people loved it also for that, just because we went as extreme as we would with the deathmatch style. We went extreme in comedy, and in conviction in what we did. So again, it was good locking horns with her. It was good locking lips with Mickey. So we had a lot of fun that night, and it was. I think we got a lot of positive feedback too for that match. So again, maybe there's a couple people that were hoping to see something different, but again, you always you got to keep them wondering, keep them guessing, and you know, you don't always give everyone what they want. That's, you know, you can give them so much more sometimes, and I think we gave them a lot more there.
That was a fun show. Definitely go back and watch that one on IWTV. That was really funny. Jimmy's in the chat.
I will be back at the H2O arena very soon, though. In exactly, I would say, 1 month from now.
Yeah.
For Sean Henderson's birthday bash. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's going to be our first one-on-one with Jimmy Lloyd. So, a broski, you better watch yourself, okay? I basically, I can't even be his broski. I can more be like his father ski, I think, with difference and stuff. So, yeah, I'm going to put you over my knee and I'm going to spank you, Jimmy Lloyd.
I love it. Jimmy, aka Jumbo Ref, says hi to you. Thanks, Jimmy, for coming into the chat. All right, so we got a fan tweet from Good Cop, Bad Cop. He goes, please tell us more about when you wrestled Kid Rock at NCW in Quebec City in 2001.
Okay, he's getting specific. First off, this wasn't the singer. This wasn't the singer. So maybe somebody went on Cage Match and they're thinking that I wrestled. My name is Kid Rock. No, it's not the same guy. I don't even know why they gave him that name. Like, because he was a kid, because he liked rock music, he had long hair. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But again, to be specific, we wrestled each other a lot, and he had, I believe, graduated just before me in the school where I started, Northern Championship Wrestling, and that's going way back, like, 2000, when I started going to that school. And by 2001, I was doing shows. So he was one of the guys that I got to wrestle a lot with. And, you know, when you're starting out, you want to do everything. And we did everything back then. Like, I mean, like I say, wrestling evolves. But when everyone starts, they want to do they want to show everything they have. And as you get older, you realize, hey, I can't do some of these moves every time. But me and Kid Rock, we tore up the house. We did a lot of stuff. I mean, a lot of high flying, a lot of reversals and kicks and stuff. And again, I was a lot of times bumping on my head at the first couple of years, I think, when I was wrestling, because I was really nervous and I wanted to impress, and I just really kick far back when I'd get knocked out. I just really kick my feet up in the air. So when you're falling down on your back, they call it a bump. And I was just doing these full blast kick bumps, you know, going really high up and landing on the top of my neck, which I reflect now when I look back, wasn't the smartest of decision, especially for those small little crowds that when you start out, but you just want to impress everyone. And so, yeah, Kid Rock is not wrestling anymore, not that I know of. And he has short hair now. So I don't know if the singer Kid Rock, did he cut his hair, or that's why he probably wears his hat because it's falling out, you know. But he's got money to get the transplants and everything like that. So, yeah, and it's funny how they don't evolve. Kid Rock, I think you could call him Grandpa Rock now, like New Kids on the Block. I mean, give me a break. When do they stop being new kids? Backstreet Boys, get out of here. Backstreet uncles and stuff. Come on. I mean, some of their kids must have kids soon or whatever. So it's hard. Even a Canadian sensation, Neil Young. I mean, how long is he going to be young? Seriously. Neil, come on. You're not young anymore.
I can't have that. And I'm pretty sure Good Cop, Bad Cop probably knew this about the Kid Rock. I guarantee it, because he surprises me with all the stuff that, you know, he knows and access. So I'm pretty sure he knows that it wasn't the real Kid Rock, because when he also put out the tweet, he put LOL on it too. But he actually just dropped another question in the chat because he said hi. He said he said good time. He just heard my question. He goes, with Eddie being an anagram of died, what's the wackiest hair coloring or hairstyle you ever done?
Oh man, okay, that's a good one. Me and my wife, we went to an Interrupters concert, so we used a lot of spray cans, and she spiked my hair. I had a crazy mohawk, man. I wish I would find the picture faster if I would have known in advance, and I would have posted it. Like, I never seen my hair so high up. And I mean, even when we were there, you have to watch out to not poke people, and how you sit in a car so that your hair stays cool all in the back and everything. So we had these like high up mohawks. That was pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in my 40s sporting a mohawk. I don't know how to play guitar, but you know what? I'm fucking awesome. I'm SeXXXy Eddy, but not everyone knew it at the concert. But it's still, you know, I'm like, man, you know, I got my shirts, I got my stuff on stuff. So, like I say with the sexiness too, it's all in you. You do you, you be you, and just let that energy out. You know, I got some of that big dick energy, but you just gotta let that energy out, and have fun while you're letting it all out. Make sure you're not near a school playground or anything like that.
Yeah,
okay?
don't do that.
Do not let everything out there. keep it PG. Keep it in the pants.
John in the chat says, I need Eddie versus Bobby Orlando.
Well, we have gotten to touch fingertips before, and we were in I think it was in the food fight. So interspecies wrestling, they're the ones that might be able to make that happen.
Yes.
And
Make it
actually,
happen, Mike.
Yes. So get on that. Or even Sexy Orlando. That sounds like a cool team.
Oh, that'd be a cool tag team.
I don't know.
Ooh, I'm here for it.
We go on vacation together. We go to the hotel together. Yo, we do everything together. We be the goats, except maybe doing that with goats. But we do everything else with the goats. All right? Book it. Book that. Is money. Dollar signs. There's dollar signs, but there's also prison. Maybe a prison sentence coming up after that match.
Oh my God, I can totally see the little, hold on, the Bobby Juniors here. The Bobby Juniors here with like sexy shirts and like wearing like, you know, glasses and like the chains or something like that. I'm here for it. We love you, Bobby, here. Bobby Jr.'s gonna hang out for a little bit. I'm here for it. So shout out to Bobby Orlando. John also says Eddie versus Ruthless Lala. Oh my goodness. I'm here
There's
for it.
a lot of possibilities. I mean, and some of the guys I don't even know, unless I've met them before, but I'm not that good with names. So when I see some guys and I'm like, hey, pleased to meet you, and they'll tell me, oh, well, we kind of met like 6 years ago, and they're like, but I wasn't wrestling yet, or I started wrestling, or I didn't have facial hair yet, or this and that, and I'm like, look, man, when you've been wrestling as long as I have, when you got hit in the head as long as I have, yeah, it's just hard to remember anything. So I apologize to everyone usually when they say that. They're like, no, we've met already. And before they can look like sad that I don't remember them, I have to tell them, like, look, I don't remember a lot of things. When I get back home, I don't even know if I'll still be married. It depends on how many people were touching my junk in the match, right? So, I mean, I get back home and then my wife's like, so how many guys touched your penis this weekend? And I was like, wait, 8? Wait, including the ref, 9. So, yeah, fun times. Professional wrestling. Woo!
Oh man. Well, John's in the chat actually, and John sent a fan tweet. He goes, "Did you ever get booked somewhere you think I shouldn't be here?" He's saying your style and gimmick didn't fit the show or the company.
Yeah, actually, you know, a couple times, like on a real, like again, I've done all sorts of matches. It's in the same year. Fun fact: I did a kids show called Prank Patrol, and I was also on Playboy TV in the same year. So it was just funny how some people only seen my deathmatch stuff or my bar shows, and then some people only seen me do all ages shows, and then they're like, wait, you're the same guy? And I'm like, yeah, you just got to adapt to your demographic, adapt to your crowd. And but I've been booked on some shows where they're telling me, okay, we want no gyrating, no you know, if you can wrestle in some underwear that's longer, like a boxer brief, If you can do this, you can do that. I'm like, it's okay. Are we playing create a wrestler here? Like, you booked me, but I was like, well, look, fine. I'll be glad to take your money and give you a standard match. But that's, that's on them. It's like, and I tell a lot of people this too. Are you going to just go out on let's say it costs the same amount to spend the whole day and the whole night with the most beautiful girl in the world, right? And are you just gonna go and talk about the weather, or are you gonna, you know what I mean? Like, again, if you got SeXXXy Eddy on your card, use him, abuse him. I tell a lot of people this too. I say, I'm not a prostitute. I don't have my OnlyFans or nothing like that. I'm a hoe. I give it out for free. Everybody gets a piece of SeXXXy Eddy.
Maybe you should make it OnlyFans though.
I know. I people have said that for a lot of times, but I'm just I feel I'd be cheating the fans that have been with me forever. And what am I gonna show on OnlyFans? I feel like I just do dumber stuff. I feel like, hey, today watch me eat dog food. Yay! I don't know. Like, I'm
in your sexy gear.
Yeah, I could do groceries in my sexy
there
gear.
There you go. Shopping with SeXXXy Eddy.
I don't know. Maybe I'm going to melt the frozen food section. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
You should do, like, TikToks where you show people how to be sexy, like going to like everyday stuff where it's like, oh, I'm going to be sexy at the grocery store. Ooh, I'm going to be sexy at the dentist. Like...
Yeah, because there's nothing more sexier than being passed out. What are you trying to imply here? Come on.
I can't. John in the chat says, what's the limit before divorce?
I thought he was going to say, what's the limit before Eddie gets canceled? No. And I'm like, I passed over that line, and I threw up and took a poop over it. I mean, look at me. Like I said, in the clusterfuck, I had 2 hands holding my manhood, and I'm flipping over the top rope at 46 years old. Does that make any sense? Does that make any sense? Does anyone want to see that? Apparently, some sickos still want to see that. So, you know what? As long as they're going to want to see me, I'm going to keep doing silly stuff. And, I mean, the more you egg me on, the more I'm going to do. Because I'm just like that.
I'm dead. Okay, next fan tweets from Dave. He goes, what's your favorite reaction you've gotten? That's a good question.
So actually, here's one that my wife loves to point out to me, is every time there's a picture of me doing something really crazy, she goes and zooms in on all the crowd members' faces. And some of them are in shock. And some of them, so I have one where I'm just leaning on the rope, and I like to do this thing when I take my pants off, and I lean my SeXXXy Eddy Jr. on the second rope. And so she zoomed in on like 8 different people in that one picture, and their faces are priceless. It's just great. I think seeing the stuff that I do afterwards sometimes is my favorite reaction, because I don't get 100% of the time. I can't enjoy it fully, because I'm just thinking about, to keep this moving. Let's get this going. Let's entertain the people. So I can't really enjoy 100% their reactions. Mm-hmm. So a picture's worth 1,000 words is exactly what you see. You get to see 1,000 people disappointed in me when they see SeXXXy Eddy in the ring. That's hilarious. I love it.
I love that. Okay, so I was talking about this with somebody the other day, and we were talking about IWTV, and we were saying that they need to host. Well, you need to be the host, and that IWTV needs to come out with a singles dating show. So what would the name of the dating show, if you were hosting it, what would it be called?
I think it would be called One Time Only, because we'd be canceled right after.
I think the fans would like to see that.
I'm just being honest. That's all. I'm being honest.
I'm here for that. All right, let's do my favorite question on this podcast, wrestling with positivity, very dear to my heart on the channel. Okay, so is there something that you can share with us? Something maybe you've done for a fan, maybe something you've done for a wrestler, maybe something a wrestler's done for you, maybe something that a fan's done for you. Anything particular that, we wouldn't know unless, you told us this story.
Well, there was one time in Philly where this particular fan, we came back to the hotel room and she did. That's not what you want to hear, then, right? Maybe she did a really good thing. I mean, she recited the alphabet while she was going downtown on me, and I mean, it was just, it made me want to go back to school. That's how good it was. Sorry, that's not what you wanted to hear. Positivity, yes. Positivity. Well, here's positivity. I got my Boston Terrier Chief wants to make out with me all the time. He wants to make it with his dad. And there's nothing more positive than that.
Oh, hello.
Puppy, look at the puppy. Oh, look at the puppy. Oh,
aww.
Yeah.
So
okay, sorry. A little positivity. Actually, so something that we started a year ago, and I'm going to plug this, is SeXXXy sauce. What that is I wanted to do hot sauce, and I'm old. I'm at an age where I want to kind of give back. As I tell a lot of people this too, I've done a lot of bad things in life, and I know I'm going to hell. But if I do something good, I try to redeem myself at this point. Maybe I'll be at a cool place. Maybe I'll be at a good place in hell where I'll actually be giving the punishments and stuff. So about a year ago, I met a friend of mine, and his name is Eric Lamontagne, and he's the chef and the behind this great idea. And so we made hot sauces, and we sell them at shows where 100% of the profits go to charity. And so we cover the cost of the bottles, the labels, and the ingredients. But after that, we put in the time, and we just finished our 8th batch, which makes about 70 bottles approximately. And so every bottle sells for $10, and 100%, like I said, of the profits go to charity. So we've already given $1,500. So every time we get $500, we give it to a charity, and we move on to the next one. We want to try and help the small guys. I'm just trying to get a good angle where my dog won't be in the shot. But we want to help the small guys because sometimes they get forgotten, which is exactly like independent wrestling where, there's not only one wrestling company out there. And once you discover that as a fan and you see, hey, there's a lot more to wrestling. There's a lot more out there. The first time I ever saw a tape from Japan, I was like, this is amazing. FMW, Wing, wow. Like, you can do this in wrestling. I thought it was only one style. So I want to say that we try and help some of the smaller nonprofit groups. And it's just a cool thing. Every time we give the money and we go and take our picture with the oversized check, it builds credibility for us because, again, professional wrestling has always been a carny kind of activity where people sometimes are trying to take advantage of each other or like trying to like. Wrestling is very carny, and for that, people that don't understand, it was like example where people would call themselves trainers and maybe they didn't have a good training themselves, but they open up a wrestling school and they take kids' money and then they're not really training them proper techniques and stuff. So as with social media and as with we're able to pass on word of mouth, like, hey, don't go with this guy, he's not cool, he doesn't know what he's doing. I think we've been able to weed out a lot of these bad schools and bad promoters, and we're trying to take care of one another in the wrestling community, because I mean once you've been training, you've been bumping, and you're lacing your boots and you're doing shows, we just welcome you with open arms into the wrestling family. We're a great family. It's like a gang. Instead of being in a gang and causing trouble, we're wearing funny costumes, oiling up, and causing trouble in a ring. But we're doing it and we're entertaining people. We're making people laugh. So again, wrestling is as positive as it could be when you're doing it right. But now with the sexy sauce, like I was saying, that we have 3 flavors. I mean, it's really cool to be able to give back by doing something that I have fun doing. And like I told my chef, I said, hey man, we can never have this be a chore, even though it's like 8-hour process to make the sauces, to blend them, to boil them, to bottle them, to label them and everything. It's an 8-hour process to do about 70 bottles, but we got to keep having fun in this. And the reward, the payoff is when we get to give to charity. So it's a really cool feeling. It's a really cool high. Not the same high you get from wrestling when you do a great match, not the same high you get from jumping out of an airplane, but it's still a great feeling that whether it's like $500 to some people, it's a lot. Some people it's not a lot, but it's better than nothing. Absolutely. And it's great to know that I'm doing a little difference. I'm doing a little dent in that, and if that little dent has the ripple effect and it makes other wrestlers or other people kind of like, hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Let's try and do something. Even if you don't have money, man, volunteer time is so. Sometimes it's an unsung hero, I feel, and but it's super appreciated. Sometimes people just want an ear to listen to. They just want someone to listen to. So volunteering your time is another thing you can do. So yeah, just give back to the community. That's all. It's nice. So yeah,
I like that.
That's a big positive thing. Buy my sexy sauce. And, you know,
yes.
Like I said, it's going to help this time actually. So we've helped a soup kitchen locally. It's a couple streets away from my house. That was the first one. The second group we helped, I'm trying to remember. I have a shitty memory with all the chair shots hitting the head. I'm gonna just jump to the fourth foundation we're helping now. Is called Fast, and it's intervention line where they talk to people and they help them kind of get back on their feet. Sometimes, like I say, just to talk to them. They might even go to this center and just have a coffee, but just to be surrounded by some people. And again, that's sometimes how you need. All you need is active listening. So we're helping them out now. And it's funny, just through Facebook, a female wrestler, Katrina Creed, had wrote a post how the work she was at, a volunteer center, got robbed. And she's like, who would rob a place like you know? And I was like, wow, this is kind of weird, because she posted that a half an hour ago. And then after that, I see it and I'm like, hey, we were kind of looking for a new foundation to donate money and stuff. So you know what? And you're a wrestler, and this just happened. Well, you know, sometimes when something bad happens, I want to say after the storm, there's eventually a rainbow that'll come out. So maybe we were the little rainbow that came out, yeah, it's just cool, man. Pay it forward, and for every wrestler that's gotten great advice from someone, maybe from me, maybe from anyone that you admired. Remember that, because it will come back full circle, and someone will ask for your advice, and instead of brushing them off, think back of what they did that really helped you and might have even saved you months, maybe even years, to get to your final goal. You know, whether that be in WWE or whether that just be the first time to do a show. I mean, you know, maybe you want to do one show in front of your kids, or just something so that they see, wow, mom and dad, oh my God, they're wrestlers. It's so cool. So whatever your goal is, and no goal is too small, no goal is too big, and get the small goals done first, because it's a lot easier to get to your bigger goals. But pay it forward. Remember that, and give back to all the people that admire you and that now they look up at you. So don't be a dick. Just give back, you know. So that's yeah. Sorry, that's all my positivity. It's just coming out.
Just pushing the positivity. We don't like the negative here. We like the positive here. So I have one last final question for you. If anybody else has anything, feel free, drop it into the chat. Tejan, welcome into the chat. What's going on? Okay, so for What's a piece of advice that you would give, like maybe an amateur wrestler or somebody that's thinking to get into wrestling, or maybe somebody that's just training now?
My favorite thing that I would have even told myself if I can go back in time was to have confidence in yourself. We're always our worst critic, and every time we'll do something that like could be like 100% or 99% perfect in the fans' eyes, we're already cutting it down and chopping it down, and we're chopping down ourselves. What the people don't know is what maybe you would have liked to happen, but if you still covered it up and made it look good, again with confidence, these things build up, and you're able to kind of go to improv and kind of just it's a moment that happens, the crowd reacts differently, and you're able to go in an impromptu direction. So just have confidence in yourself. Because everyone is looking at you, whether the crowd has 10 people or 10,000 people. There could be a kid there that you don't really realize, but he's in awe. He's watching you, or she's watching you with big, big eyes. And in 30 years from now, they could be the next Rock, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels. So, and again, you never know who's there in the crowd. So do your best, have confidence in yourself. I mean, also push forward. Like, I mean, let's say someone would be like, hey, who wants to wrestle? We got this big name coming in. I mean, everyone should lift their hand up. Yeah, you know that maybe someone else could do a better match against that person than you. But if they're too nervous to do it, lift up your hand. The only thing you're going to do is learn from that experience. So keep learning, have confidence in your abilities, cover your weaknesses and work on them, but showcase your strengths. So again, it's super important to work on your weaknesses, because every great wrestler, there's a lot of good wrestlers out there, but to be a great wrestler, you have to be good at everything. A real hybrid wrestler. Again, whether it be a high flying comedy or just fluidity in the ring and stuff. So you got to be able to read the crowd, and to do that properly when you have your structured match in your head. But if you're able to read the crowd and go in different directions, that's a mark of confidence. Have confidence in yourself. Believe in your ability.
I love that. I feel like you could do a game right now. Like every time you say confidence, take a shot.
Oh boy.
I'm
This
here.
show is going to end either amazingly or terribly bad.
I love that. Said John said the show name was Getting Sexy with Eddie. There you go. The dating thing. All right, so what do you have coming up? So if the fans want to come see you and upcoming.
So you could follow me on MySpace. Is a very popular platform, I think, for people my age.
I was just talking about that with Deshaun Pratt.
Yeah, I forgot my password years ago from that, and I was like, it's just still floating around, I think, there. So I have a lot of promos I put on Dick Cock, or that's the one. I think that's the one the kids use, right? No, Dick Cock. No, it's TikTok. No, I still didn't figure that out. I don't know how to do that. But I have Instagram. I have Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. Well, I got XXX. That's what I have, and Facebook. So you can see stuff that I'm doing there. But upcoming shows. I got a triple weekend this weekend, so I'll be doing company on Friday is Beauharnois Championship Wrestling, BCW, and I'll be wrestling L'Adorable Steve Ace and a one-on-one match. And then on Saturday, I'll be back at International Wrestling Syndicate, the IWS at Studio TD, and I'll be for Tag Team Gold. We're 4 different teams in there in a big mix-up. It's going to be a clusterfuck, but hopefully we come out with the gold again, me and Animal. And then on Sunday for Interspecies Wrestling, we're doing the Masters of the Universe tournament, which I don't believe I'm a participant in, but I'll be in a non-tournament match. wrestling Franklin, I believe Franklin Meyer, how you pronounce it, but the crazy hot dog vendor, because I did see a promo with a lot of mustard and a hot dog and my name spelt in mustard, and he wiped it out with a knife. So I don't know what that means, but I have a hint that I might be wrestling that guy. So it's a busy weekend for me. And actually, wherever I'll be wrestling, you can get SeXXXy Eddy's hot sauce. So that's a good thing, except for the U.S., because they don't want to have me have food over the border. And I need to keep it refrigerated. So, but my sauce follows me wherever I go, or vice versa, or wherever I go, people get sauced. I don't know. Depends. Depends if it's after hours, not in the ring.
That should be a show name. Getting sauced.
Yeah, we got a lot of show names, right? I think that we got a lot of shows, but no one wants to buy these shows.
I think
It's just a lot of pilots.
I think IWTV needs to do it. Jerry, let's go.
Get on with it, Mr. Vin. I know him a long time ago, so yeah. Yeah, no, this has been fun. It's been a blast. But and yeah, SeXXXy Eddy is still wrestling. They do have to. So whenever I'm on DVD or IWTV, they fast forward me a little bit, so I look in normal speed, even though I'm a lot slower than when I was back in the day when I had abs. Now I just have an ab, but that's yeah, that's besides the point. But if you want to come and you want to be entertained, hey, just sit back, get your popcorn, relax, and enjoy the show. You're gonna have fun.
Yes.
Any show that SeXXXy Eddy's on, you are gonna have fun. And if you don't, maybe some of the other matches you'll have fun at. But if none of them tickle your fancy, then get the hell out of here. Wrestling doesn't want you as our fan. Okay, you got that? Get the hell out of here.
There's a little bit for everybody, right? That's the nice thing about independent wrestling. There's so much.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a little bit for everyone that's there too. So, and then for those who want more, well, again, you're going to have to see my OnlyFans that doesn't exist.
It's gonna happen. He's gonna have all these wonderful show names, and it's gonna be on like TikTok or something.
That's but I'm like, I look back and I'm like, hey, ain't nobody got time for that. Like SeXXXy Eddy at my age, I need to take a nap. Okay,
there you go. Getting sexy with Eddy, taking a nap. How to make taking a nap sexy?
A video of me taking a nap. You're gonna pay for that?
Listen, you know there is people on TikTok that stay live, that they sleep during, and they leave it live, and people watch, and it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking people watching this shit, and they're sending like these gifts of like money like during sleeping. It's the most craziest shit.
You know how sad you make me feel now, because you're like, thousands of people listen to this person sleeping, and I've had a couple dozen maybe, and I've been talking the whole time. I've been entertaining the whole time, and no one's sending me gifts. They're only sending me STDs. That's all they're sending me. That's all people want to send me now is sexually transmitted diseases. What's up with that? What's up with that?
Bring him some gifts, guys. What do you want? What should people bring you?
Food is always good. Give me some drinks at the shows. I love to drink. Here's a tip. Any fans want to talk to SeXXXy Eddy, if you have a glass of alcohol in your hand, I will talk to you as long as there is alcohol in my glass. I drink very fast, though. I'm warning you. So if you keep filling it up, I will keep running my mouth.
There you go. Go buy him a drink. Good cop,
buy my T-shirts, too. Buy my T-shirts. Actually, the designer from Japan, Seozawa, mad love, mad respect. He does a lot of the deathmatch wrestling art designs for Big Japan and stuff. So again, here's a shirt he did with me there, and anyways, just cool, just fun. Have fun. Come to the shows. Encourage the indie wrestlers, because you never know, they might be the next big thing. So not me though. I'm old and I'm done. I'm washed up. But come look at me a couple matches before I'm really done, before I really hurt myself or something.
Come have some entertaining. There you go. Go check it out.
Buy a beer for me, and yeah, just come on out.
Good Cop, Bad Cop says, taking a nap with SeXXXy Eddy? No, sleeping with SeXXXy Eddy, surely.
Yeah, and when I say sleep, it's really sleep. I don't. You pass the age where you're just like, it's sleep time. It's sleep. Yeah.
And John says penicillin for the STD.
Yeah. Yeah. You know.
I can't. And a bunch of
It's
people.
funny how penicillin has penis in it. It's like it should be called penicillin. It's just like, because that's what it's for. That's what it's treating. It's treating the green lumps on your penis. So.
I can't. I can't thank you enough for this podcast and entertaining us all. Even good cop, bad cop said this is a great entertaining interview. So,
Thank you guys. Thank you for those couple people that listened in. And for all those other people that were watching that other guy sleep, go to hell. Fuck you. Okay? Yeah,
we're gonna set you up.
I guess if he needs a pillow, he needs a gift.
We gotta set him up. We gotta set him up on TikTok so that he can do this, so he can make a little extra money. I'm here for it. I'm dead so much. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us, listening to the podcast. Make sure you share the stream, give some likes. If you're watching this later, give some comments. I'll be back next week with Fancy Ryan Clancy. So we get to chat with him. So make sure you're following the Indie Wrestling Corner to be alerted times and upcoming shows. So with that being said, stay safe, support independent wrestling. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good night.